Good evening. How are you? Well, Jefferson gives us a special weather today. It's 81 degrees, but there's a slight breeze at about 3 miles an hour, and you can see the clouds behind me. So it looks like it's going to rain, and we need rain. There's a drought here, and I was with a group of people on one of the soil and water board. It's a board I serve on, and one of our technicians said there was a drought in our county, and someone else said, "How will I know if our wells are going to get cut off?" I said, "Well, it's easy. You'll see dirt in your sink." So, and some will, because they waste. There's big news, very big news, and we've been dealing with it for some time, which is what's going to happen with Biden, meaning, is he going to stay in the race or is he going to withdraw? And he's obviously, as everybody knows by now, he's withdrawn. And I think it was one of the more badly handled situations in American history. And I'm hopeful that we can move on. Now, I've, from time to time, tried to partner with podcasts and so forth. And, well, some people can't believe in the middle of a tragedy that anything good can come of it. And certainly there was cause to believe that the way Biden was being handled. And the way I've explained myself to others, in which I commend to you, if this fits how you see things, is that I look for the ray of hope, the light, if you can find any. So I'm not resolved to do nothing. And I don't advise people to do nothing, because then the result's a foregone conclusion. You can't win the lottery unless you buy a ticket. And in life, you got to buy a lot of tickets to have a decent life. And you're going to lose from time to time, but we can't afford to lose this race. So I kind of commend a stoic approach to radical changes in politics and my court cases, and my personal life with health, or anything else. I think you have to be active. You know, we talk about use it or lose it. Well, in a political campaign, the way that translates is, what is the art of the possible? What are the politics of the situation by which we can go forward? However badly bruised we were, however terribly treated was Biden. I remain cynical because I've lived the life. I've seen things, and I'm sure you people, you have had the same experience. We're not dumb to what happens. They may think we don't understand what they're doing, but we do. So I'm cynical, but I recommend optimism. I had a friend in college who said he was a dyed-in-the-wool pessimist. And he said that way he was never disappointed. I said, you also never had any hope, because your mindset, your attitude was in the wrong place. Now, I'm not proposing to be Pollyannish. Sometimes we take a beating. Sometimes we can't get up from that particular event. Things happen. Death being the most obvious example of this. The person you care about or love. In politics and in life, there are metaphorical deaths. We've just witnessed the death of Biden, politically speaking. This is the last office he'll hold, the last time he'll run for office, and he will run to help someone else run for office. And right now it looks like his Vice President, Harris, and she's been doing an excellent job working out the transition. And so there is this notion in life of dying to be reborn. And I only believe in this spiritually, in the sense that if a part of you is forced to retreat, how do you come back? Can you come back? And the answer is that sometimes you have to. Because in this case, we still face Trump, a known evil, a known anti-humanitarian, a devil with a long tie and a big gut and an appetite for power and selfish aggrandizement that I don't think we've seen in America. He's leading a revolution to make him the first American dictator. He's kind of the anti-George Washington. He's the man who's going to take over America and fashion it as is his whim, which is what dictators do. They have a whim. That's all they can do. So, in the days now and to follow, what can we expect? Well, Biden didn't just announce that he was going to serve out his term in office and end his campaign and encourage everybody to support his vice president. And there's been a real campaign to do that. And $70 to $100 million has been raised in the day or so since this happened. So, do we have a life of mourning, a political life of mourning, a pathway of mourning by the voluntary seppuku, political suicide of resigning in office? And don't underestimate what it means to be the person in the office, because I've seen it myself. I've both been a beneficiary and defeated in local party things. So anybody who knows the business knows that's happened. So Harris has been everywhere to seize this prize, not for herself, but for the nation, for the cause that she believes in. And she told the story, and so did the first gentleman today, about how when she became the vice president and he became the first gentleman, they were invited to Biden's home. And they told him they were now family. And I think that that's what held her in a frame of reference that she would support Biden unless and until he said anything else. And I don't think it was the kind of political BS that we got from others. In her case, I believe it was genuine. And we have to respect that. Politics is the art of the possible. And Joe and Kamala were making their victory possible. And if Joe is not going to be there and be that person, then the next best thing, an equally valuable change, was to have Kamala be that person. Trump doesn't know how to deal with her. It's already the case that he calls her out for laughing. There's no joy in Trump, no joy at all. And you know, why shouldn't she laugh? There's a lot to laugh about Trump, quite a bit. It would be hysterical if it wasn't for the effect he's had on the nation. People have died because he couldn't handle the pandemic. People have lost fortunes because of it. People have suffered because of Trump. And if he has his way, if he wins this election, there'll be more of the same. Now, Harris is a former prosecutor, former attorney general, and she does know how to debate. She does know how to argue. She knows how to prosecute a case. But she doesn't have to convict Trump. A jury did that. And more than one jury. He's been convicted of criminal offenses. He's been convicted of civil offenses. He's been convicted of slandering a woman and abusing her sexually. So Trump calls her vicious and dumb. How about we call her determined and smart? And when somebody singles a person out and says they're vicious and dumb, does that mean that you think he really believes that? Because between the two of them, I'd put my money on the barrelhead that she could pass any test that he could not. And that is part of it. So she's determined and smart, not vicious and dumb. And all she has to do is talk the truth. Because this race now, I think, is about Trump. That is, do we want Trump in the White House? As compared to these two souls, Biden and Kamala Harris, and her husband, the first gentleman, would be the first man. I don't know how that's going to happen, but that's kind of an exciting proposal. I've heard people say that Trump has said other less flattering things about Kamala. Of course, that's who he is, the trash talker. Now, who did he choose as his vice president? J.D. Vance's Ohio State Senator said he thought a civil war was needed. Imagine that. And more refreshing is kind of the fun that Kamala is having. Kamala is brat. I leave it to you to research that. Some of you probably know better than I what it is. Brace yourself, Trump. We're coming for you. We're coming for you in the sense of cashiering you as a public figure, barring the door to the pardons for yourself and others that you would try to make you free of the righteous convictions that you've suffered, of the convictions that the people suffered for attacking the Hill. You have run out on every single person you've met when there was the slightest possibility that what they could do would hurt you. So brace yourself, Trump. We're coming for you, and we're going to stop you with the truth. Like I said, look for the light. And we're not talking about the light that some talk about when they die, that they see. We're talking about the light we see in life that shines on the facts and the truth and illuminates those with character who could steady this nation and restore it as a republic. And Kamala Harris is the point person on that struggle right now. And there's no excuse if we have the funds and if everybody now dedicates themselves to the highest purposes. As Trump goes low, we go high, and our ambition is nothing less than preserving our democracy in this republic and stopping this scourge from persisting past Election Day. Once and for all, we get rid of this jerk and we install value in our government. So those are a few thoughts I have, and we've made do without it raining. And I spin here in our cathedral of trees, and I look forward to talking to you tomorrow. All the best. Bye-bye.